The regular meeting of the Elmhurst City Council for Monday, November 17, 2025. I would ask if you would please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Clerk Tamer, please call the roll.
Irby?
Here.
Brennan?
Here.
Varimus? Here. Bellinger?
Here.
Schenko? Here. Hill?
Here.
Graham?
Here.
Jensen?
Here.
Toludo?
Here.
Baker?
Here.
Nudera?
Here.
Virgil?
Here.
Nardini?
Here.
Vestito?
Here.
14 present, 0 absent.
14 present, 0 absent. We have a quorum. Not to confuse the members of the public who are here or the council, we are required to hold a public hearing on the budget, which will be very short. And for the aldermen, it does not affect the budget that we will be adopting, and it's not the time to make amendments. So I'm going to call to order the public hearing scheduled for this evening. This is a public hearing that concerns the 2026 budget for the City of Elmhurst for the fiscal year 2026, which runs from January 1, 26 through December 31, 26. The purpose of the hearing is to take public we need a roll call on this, I'm sorry. Roll call on the public meeting.
Irby?
Here.
Brennan?
Here.
Varimus? Here. Bellinger?
Here.
Schenko? Here. Hill?
Present.
Graham?
Here.
Jensen?
Here.
Toludo?
Here.
Baker?
Here.
Nudera?
Here.
Virgil?
Here.
Nardini?
Here.
Vestito?
Here.
14 present, 0 absent.
14 present, 0 absent. We have a quorum for the public hearing. As I say, the public hearing purpose is to take public comment concerning the 2026 budget, not other items that are of general concern. I would ask the clerk, are there any written communications concerning the public budget, the public hearing, not the...
There is not, Mayor.
All right.
Not that
And
is
is there,
signed in.
all right, are there written?
Written, no, I don't believe this was.
And are there any people who have signed in for a public comment on the public budget?
Not on the budget,
All right.
no.
All right. Are there any members in the audience who want to comment on the public budget hearing? All right. In that case, I will ask for a motion to close the hearing. Alderman Nardini, Alderman Virgil with a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. The hearing is closed. We're back into the City Council meeting. Item 3, are there any written communications, not public comment, that anyone would like to deliver to the council other than the one that Ms. Garcia has presented to us? If so, raise your hand. Seeing none, we'll move on to public forum. We had a very short public forum sheet, so don't panic if your name isn't on there. We will run through the names of those who have signed in. I will then call for those who would like to make public comment who did not have the opportunity to sign in. I will tell you our procedure is you may speak from the back microphone, adjust it as you see fit. Please state your name. Address is optional. You'll have 3 minutes. In view of the number of people, when you get to right at 3 minutes or shortly before, I will tell you where we are so that you will, I hope, wrap up your remarks. I think that does it. We'll start, and any topic you want is public comment. Clerk Tamer, has anyone signed in for public comment?
Yes, Mayor. Christopher Hanna.
Mr. Hanna, thank you. Again, state your name, address optional.
Good evening. I'm Christopher Hanna. I'm a resident of Elmhurst, Illinois, Mean Streets of Ward 2. if you know the area. I'm speaking as an Elmhurst resident who's concerned with the increased ice activity in our town and the need for clarity on how we as a town, including law enforcement, should respond. U.S. Border Patrol's own numbers reported last Friday that more than 97% of those apprehended in Operation Midway Blitz have no known criminal activity whatsoever. In other words, only 16 out of 614 have a criminal history. Given these numbers, what you're witnessing is often referred to as preventative arrest orders. These people, the 97+%, have committed no crimes, since the act of being present in the U.S. without authorization is a civil offense, not a crime. These preventative arrest orders, by their very nature, bypass normal judicial review, warrants, legal counsel, or appeals process. Sound familiar? It should, because that was what gave rise to the Executive Order 9066 that established Japanese internment during World War II. These types of measures, these types of activities are starting to happen more in Elmhurst. So let's ask ourselves, what purpose is being served today with operations like Midway Blitz? Is it law enforcement, or is it wholesale persecution via preventative arrest? The statistics from last week alone would indicate the latter. Some may see this statement as overblown or a hysteric response. I, for one, do not, and history would support my position. So ask yourselves, what side of history do we want to be on? What do we want our children and grandchildren to know about our response during the so-called Ice Age? Will we be ashamed of my actions or inactions, as the case may be? Will they have to lie about what I did or didn't do? Or will they be proud that we stood up and spoke for and advocated for those who didn't have the voice to do so? We just said the Pledge of Allegiance, where we pledged for liberty and justice for all. We should not make that a hollow sentiment and ask ourselves, what should this look like here in Elmhurst? Thank you.
Joey.
I will, just for our operating procedure, we are not applauding. I'm sure you're all in support of the statements, but that's the way we do it here. So if you'll accommodate that, I'd appreciate it.
Joey Rozovich.
Good evening. My name is Joey Rozovich. I'm running for Congress in the 6th Congressional District of Illinois, which a large part of Elmhurst inhabits. I'm running for Congress in part because America is in crisis, economically, morally, and civically. Economically, the American dream is slipping away from my entire generation. The ability to own a home, start a family, is already out of reach for the vast majority of us. And all of us, young and old, are feeling the economic squeeze of grocery prices, electricity, healthcare, and the basics of life that have doubled and tripled in cost over the last 5 years. We've also heard about ICE, and they're coming into this neighborhood, this city, and terrorizing its residents. What I would like to ask is, where is our congressman now? What is he doing for us in this moment? Is he out on the streets with you protesting? Is he going to the ICE facilities to provide oversight? I don't want to talk about the issues that we face. I would like to talk about the possibilities of having a bold, visionary leader in Congress representing you. I would like to reappropriate funds at the federal level, $200 billion from the Pentagon's budget. The Pentagon has a $1 trillion annual budget, and they have failed to pass an audit for the last 6 years. We need to take some of that money and directly put it into the cities of District 6. As the congressman leading the charge, I will secure $1 billion for the District 6, and I will give $100 million to the city of Elmhurst. I've already spoken to several members of the council, and I think that there are great things that we can do with this money right away. For example, removing all lead pipes from the homes in Elmhurst. This would cost roughly $15 million. With 1.25 million homes, $10,000 per home, comes out to about $12.5 million. We can round it up to 15 for clerical errors. I would also like to invest $25 million into the public education system, provide teachers the raises they deserve.
Public comment is for things of concern to members of the public, and we've never had someone come and campaign for office before. So if you could tailor your comments, please, to things of concern of an appropriate public comment?
Certainly. So you just had a meeting about the budget deficit and the shortfall and how you're going to have to make difficult decisions in order to raise taxes to provide for things for the city. I'm talking about what your congressman could do if they were willing to cut the military's budget and reappropriate those funds to the city of Elmhurst. You could expand public transportation, the trolley. You could buy more of them. You could expand to electric buses and all of that. This is of direct concern to the citizens of Elmhurst. Again, with ICE, where are our representatives standing up for liberty and justice for all, for the decency, for due process? So finally, okay, I'm Joey Rusevich. I'm running for Congress in the 6th District of Illinois. Please come talk to me afterwards, and we could talk about how real representation could help you immediately.
Simmerin Silverstein.
To bring it down a little bit. Members of the City Council, Mr. Mayor, I wanted to come today
Sorry,
and speak to you.
you have to start stating your name, please.
Oh, sorry. My name is Simran Silverstein. I live at 195 East North Avenue in Elmhurst. Been an Elmhurst resident for 17 plus years. We moved here when my daughter was an infant, and she will be, she's a current senior at York High School, so she will be graduating soon. And I wanted to talk to you about why we love Elmhurst and why we live here, and some things that I would like to change. I have spoken at a city council meeting before, and I started with a Mr. Rogers quote then, and I will now. Respecting and loving your neighbor can give everybody a good feeling. Mr. Mayor, you spoke about the quality of life in Elmhurst, and I would like to add something to celebrate the tapestry of Elmhurst. I have emailed the mayor 3 times, once in 2020, once in /24, and once earlier this year, and I received 0 emails back. The email that I sent earlier this year was with regards to my community I am of Indian descent. My religion is Sikh, and Illinois had passed a resolution declaring April Sikh American Awareness Month. And so I emailed the mayor asking if he would issue a proclamation. I copied City Manager Grabowski and Clerk Tamer. Clerk Tamer was kind enough to respond. The mayor has not responded ever. So I'm wondering, I never see any posts there. I learned today that there's a communications manager in the committee on the whole meeting. I've never seen communications on Black History Month, Hispanic Heritage Month, Asian American Pacific Islander Month. And we were talking about budget. It would be free to issue a proclamation at any one of these meetings. It would be free. The cost of a piece of paper and 2 minutes of your time. And that's celebrating the tapestry of Elmhurst. It's something that makes it great. It makes us aware that you love your neighbors. So as you can see, there have been some comments about ICE today. As you can see, I appear to be in the minority in this group. There's not very many with my complexion in this room. I am a natural-born U.S. citizen. I've lived in Illinois my entire life. I carry my passport card, my birth certificate, and my marriage certificate with me at all times. So just so you know, just so we're clear, that's how it is right now in these times. And for you to not even acknowledge a constituent, someone who has lived here almost 20 years, and really try to come to terms with celebrating everybody in Elmhurst. I've seen you issue a proclamation or two. You went to Black Lives Matter March when you were campaigning. This is a vibrant community, and I think you're doing us a disservice. Thank you.
Thank you for your time. I appreciate that.
Jen Kovac.
Hi, thank you. My name's Jen Kovacs. My husband and I are residents of Elmhurst. We raise our family right next to York High School, but we choose to put our kids in the dual language program, and they go to school at Churchville and Fisher. A couple of us tonight spent a great deal of time thinking about which person should speak and what they should say. And then we realized it didn't matter who spoke or which story they shared, because what's happening in our community isn't about one of us, it's about all of us. It's about the family that was left behind after their dad was taken at dawn on his way to work, where he'd been employed paying taxes for 12 years. It's about the scared family who called 911 or 311 because masked men showed up on their lawn to accost their landscape crew. It's about residents getting trained to patrol the streets with whistles at all hours to ensure their neighbors are safe, and it's clear for their kids to play at the park. It's about a group of women working underground to make sure their kids' classmates have something to eat after they get home from school. And I want to apologize for crying, but I'm not, because this is the reality that we live in and talk about every day. It's about how we talk to our kids when they ask me what do they do when ICE comes on their bus and take their friend. It's about the mom group texts that are constantly asking, what can we do? How do we protect their mental health? It's about the small business owners reforecasting their year end because they aren't sure how many jobs they'll be able to take on because their employees are too scared to come to work in Elmhurst. It's about students pulling away from their bus stop, watching masked men wait near their homes and wondering if their parents will be there when they get off the bus. It's about bustling Mexican restaurants in a community sitting empty because people are too afraid to dine out. These are not stories we read in the news. These are not stories we read on social media. These are not stories we heard from friends. These are firsthand stories that we, Elmhurst residents, have experienced. Your residents are scared. Our kids are scared. Our businesses are scared. Elmhurst is too vibrant of a community for us to live this way. Please, please take the action that the next speaker is going to invite you to do so. Thank you.
Brenda Garcia.
Good evening, City Council members. My name is Brenda Garcia. I live in the 5th Ward, but I have also worked in Elmhurst for almost 14 years, specifically with a lot of the small business owners in town, which many of them are immigrants or sons and daughters of immigrants, and all of them contribute to the economy of the city of Elmhurst. And since all of this began, they have been impacted. And so has my business. This is what I propose: to protect residents and business owners from unlawful detention by federal immigration agents. The city of Elmhurst can build upon existing state law by adopting a local welcoming city ordinance and actively educating residents and business owners about their constitutional rights. Elmhurst can pass a local ordinance similar to those in Chicago, Evanston, and Oak Park that reinforces the state-level protections and adds city-specific measures. This ordinance can include provisions to, and I'm not going to go into detail due to time, prohibit inquiry into status, restrict information sharing, formalize no assistance policy, ban coercive tactics, require clear policies for facilities, no use of city facilities, require valid criminal warrants only. But the most effective tools against unlawful detention is an informed populace. The city can launch initiatives to ensure residents and business owners know their rights. They can do a Know Your Rights campaign, make a clear distinction between administrative warrants and judicial warrants, have reporting mechanisms, provide legal recourse information. And lastly, focus on law enforcement accountability. Cities like Chicago and Evanston have taken steps to require all on-duty law enforcement officers, including federal agents, operating within their limits to display identifying information and are attempting to ban them from wearing masks that conceal their identity while on duty. A federal judge has already ruled that ICE agents in the Chicago area, which includes Elmhurst, who are not undercover, must wear badges or IDs. By implementing these measures, Elmhurst can reinforce its commitment to ensuring all residents and business owners feel safe, secure, and respected in their community, while also upholding the spirit of Illinois' robust statewide protections. What I want to leave with you is, when you leave your house, how many of you have to carry your American passport? I'm pretty sure none of you do. But that's my reality right now. That and getting questioned by my mom. When I say I am an American citizen, do I sound more American? Am I pronouncing the words correctly? Because she's afraid when she goes to her doctor's appointments in Elmhurst of being questioned. And she's been a citizen for over 25 years. Thank you.
Thank you.
Matt Barkus.
Good evening. My name is Matt Barkus, and I'm an Elmhurst resident. I was born and raised here, and now my lovely wife and I have the privilege of raising our 2 children here. There's growing concern, anxiety, and confusion clearly visible in this room tonight about the increased presence of ICE agents in Elmhurst neighborhoods. Families, students, and community members are uncertain about what could happen in encounters with federal immigration authorities, and that uncertainty alone is creating fear. We are asking this council to take proactive action by establishing a clear, coordinated safety plan involving the City of Elmhurst, the Elmhurst Police Department, and District 205 administration. This plan should spell out exactly how our institutions will respond if ICE or any other immigration authority appears on school property or attempts to board a D205 bus without a valid signed judicial warrant. We are also asking that the plan include directions on how residents should respond if ICE shows up at their property. Our families deserve that clarity and protection. In addition, we implore the council to pass a city ordinance designating our schools, hospital, and places of worship as ICE-free zones. These are spaces where people come to learn, heal, and pray, and every Elmhurst resident deserves to do so without fear, intimidation, or disruption. Taking these steps would affirm Elmhurst's commitment to the safety, dignity, and well-being of all who call this community either their home or their place of business. It would show that our city stands ready to protect its residents, clarifying what defines Elmhurst as a safe place to live, and upholding the values of respect and humanity for ourselves and our neighbors as we, the citizens of Elmhurst, deserve. Thank you.
Kevin Flanagan, but I believe it's James Mastrino speaking for Kevin.
Okay, my name's James Mastrino, and I'm reading this on behalf of Elmhurst resident Kevin Flanagan, who cannot be here tonight. We all know if resident comedian Kevin Flanagan was here, he'd love to start and end on a joke, but instead he asked us to read the following. At around 12:45 on Friday, October 24th, I experienced a couple of ICE agents park their vehicle in the middle of 100 block of North Myrtle, blocking traffic in both directions. They proceeded to chase some laborers from the construction site a few houses away where we currently reside. At the same time, there were reports of all across town of similar events, reports of an entire landscaping crew being taken into custody with all their equipment and assets left behind unsecured. What are we doing? Our federal government is literally driving around town, targeting people because of their skin color, and randomly plucking these people off the streets. I don't care what your views on politics or immigration may be, this is morally wrong. There are parents leaving for work and not returning home to their families. There are children afraid to go to school. Under no circumstances should a child fear going to school. Under no circumstance. Kevin Flanagan. Thank you for all your time this evening.
Thank you.
I did miss one, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Okay. Rita Dianati.
Good evening, City Council members and audience. My name is Rita Dianati. I'm an Elmhurst resident. I've been a resident here for 23 years now. I'm also a child of immigrants. I'm a first-generation American U.S. citizen. And I'm also here to speak about the problem that we have with ICE here in our communities. So I'm a physician, and that's sort of my perspective. I am concerned about, patient care and what happens in and around medical facilities. And one of the issues is that ICE has been entering treatment facilities, such as hospitals. As you may have heard, there was an immigrant earlier this month in Melrose Park who was beaten so badly that he required hospitalization, was admitted to Gottlieb Hospital. ICE followed him into treatment areas, which is a big no-no. Under Illinois state law, ICE cannot enter treatment areas unless they have a signed judicial warrant or there is consent by a authorized representative of the facility. Unfortunately, they gained access to treatment areas. The family was not able to visit the patient, and so there are a host of problems with this. The medical space is a sacred space. It is a space for healing. It is meant to be a safe space for patients and their families. And so I'm here today to ask you to adopt a city ordinance to create a safe space at medical facilities, banning ICE from all, not only the treatment areas, but the entire space, the entire property of medical facilities. This includes not only treatment areas, but the public spaces such as lobbies as well as parking lots, to allow for patients and their families to be safe while they are at or visiting these facilities. In addition, I'm asking the council to adopt an ordinance to prohibit federal agents such as ICE to use any city property or city-owned property or city-controlled property for their the purposes of immigration activities, which they are doing unlawfully, as we can see. Multiple cities in the Chicagoland area have adopted such ordinances, such as Chicago, North Chicago, Waukegan, Wheeling, just to name a few of the surrounding suburbs. So just adding that I think that Elmhurst should follow suit and adopt ordinances similar to this. Thank you so much for your time. Have a good evening.
Thank you. That is the last person who signed up to make public comment. Is there anyone in the audience who did not have the opportunity to sign in that would like to make public comment? If so, please raise your hand. In the back, please.
Hello, my name is Barry Zhang, and I'm a resident of Elmhurst. I'm speaking today to demand the council protect its constituents against the brutality of Immigration and Customs Enforcement by strongly enforcing non-cooperation between local police and ICE and banning ICE from entering places like schools, churches, hospitals, and city buildings. ICE has been seen in our cities, brutalizing people like U.S. citizen Diane Figueroa on their way to work, tear-gassing babies and separating families, among many other atrocities that are happening to my neighbors, as mentioned by many other people who spoke before me. I am demanding that you pass legislation that restricts the behaviors of ICE in our cities and bans police from cooperating with them. Regular people are scared to come out of their homes and go to work because of the actions of these masked men who are kidnapping people from their cars and homes and leaving children wondering where their parents have gone. They are not targeting criminals or rapists. They are brutalizing normal, hard-working people. People like your neighbors or the kids that go to our local elementary schools. And as people that represent Elmhurst, it is your duty to protect us against ICE and work to keep us safe. Please pass legislation that protects us, especially our undocumented and immigrant siblings, by doing more to ensure that local police are not cooperating with ICE and that restricts ICE from coming into our neighborhoods and doing absolutely unspeakable things to the people of color in this vibrant community. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else that would like to make public comment? All right. And that's the last of this one. All right. So generally, for those of you who come to council, we don't respond to public comment. We're here to listen to what you say. I would, at this time, like to say two things. One is to the woman who spoke and emailed me, I publicly apologize. I will look for those emails and try not to repeat that error. Over the past on the topic that brings most of you here, over the past 2 months, I and many of the other aldermen have been contacted by residents regarding this issue about immigration enforcement. They were initiated in the whole Chicago area by Operation Midway. And I see how many of you are here that have this concern. Many of us have been urged to take the various actions that you're requesting tonight to prohibit the use of municipal property by federal authorities, or have a resolution to condemn Operation Midway. It's long been a tradition of this council that we don't really get involved in federal issues. We have residents who have their own opinions on what's happening at the federal level. Not all of the opinions align with each other, and I'm mindful that I know it's Oak Park or Evanston, which is my hometown. I understand that some communities have more of a clear point of view. I've heard from residents who do not have the point of view that is expressed by those here. When busloads of migrants were being bused from Texas to our suburban train stations, including Elmhurst, we didn't get into the national debate on that. We did take a leadership role that we would be protecting our residents and we'd be protecting the people who are arriving on the trains, and that is a statement and model that was followed by many other DuPage communities. And we agreed unless we were confronted with direct public safety issues, we wouldn't adopt an ordinance, and the situation kind of passed and we were prepared to debate an ordinance if necessary, but it didn't turn out to be necessary. The only national issue I can think of as I went back was when Ukraine was invaded by Russia. I made a statement, as did other aldermen, because not one person came to me and said, hey, this is a great thing that Russia is invading Ukraine. It was pretty clear there was unanimous support for that position. So I understand that you and many others in the community would like the City Council to enter into this debate. And as you saw, for those of you who were in the meeting before, we have a lot of very important work to do, which only can be done by our City Council. Getting into an extended debate over the immigration and enforcement issue, which is very important, and I understand that would distract from what we need to accomplish. I also know there are many different opinions on the issue. I personally have very strong opinions myself. Most aldermen don't want to take on the debate of the ones I've talked to. I was reading the Sunday Tribune, and it reported how Batavia went into the same effort that we're being asked to take, and maybe a resolution, maybe an ordinance. And after much debate, it was not a unified vote, but a highly contentious and divided vote, and I think that's where we would go to. On an individual level, I know that a lot of the aldermen on this council have engaged in participating in social protests. This public forum, seeing you here, having you have the opportunity to speak before us and before the members of your community provides that, lets them know what you're thinking and what you want them to do. There are certain things we can't accomplish. Some of the things that were mentioned are accomplished by the courts, and we don't really have any authority over private property. But as with the migrant situation, please be assured that we will always protect the safety of our residents. We will comply, we must comply with the Illinois Trust Act, which prohibits our police officers from participating in or assisting with immigration enforcement activities. There have been many discussions among the DuPage County mayors about this situation, and I've talked to our police chief. The members of the DuPage County Chiefs are also mindful of what they can do and what they can't do and the need to protect our community. We have responded only to mutual aid requests where other departments want to protect the public from getting into traffic or crowd control, but we have not and will not get involved in immigration enforcement activities. Our police, I talked to our chief after I met with some residents last week. We are in coordination with District 205. I will let them speak for themselves, but the understanding is the doors are supposed to be locked and people aren't coming into the schools. I also want to say that we can't interfere with enforcement activities, and that was a discussion I know amongst a group of mayors of 12 or 15 mayors that we had, is that do we want a situation where our police officers are trying to arrest a federal agent or vice versa? No one has tried to use our facilities. I tried to document incidents that happen in town, the real from the ones that just are reported but turn out not to be real, so I'm aware that there are some real incidents going on. Now, I think you're highly educated on the topic, so you're aware that Homeland Security closed its facility or its operations at Great Lakes Naval Base, and there's reports that Charlotte is now the scene of the federal agents that were housed here. And this, I hope, will significantly decrease the concerns and what we worry about if significant ICE activity were to come to Elmhurst. But as with the migrant busing situation, we are prepared to take action if things happen in Elmhurst. Finally, I want to remind our residents that as with any other situation, if if there was someone being battered by a federal agent, whether our officers can do anything or not, I don't know, but they will respond. You dial 911 if you need help without concern that our police officers will be involved in any way with immigration activities. I will use this opportunity to tell our public that 911 is the only number to call, whether it's an emergency or not an emergency, so certainly don't hesitate to call if you have a question. So I appreciate that everyone came down here. I think you had the attention of the entire council. I can't say for sure where it's going to go, but public forum is an important part of our process, and I want to thank you all for coming out. You're welcome to stay for the rest of the meeting. It may not, it's interesting, but maybe not to you at this point, so I will take a break for a few minutes, and if you want to move on, we'll take a 2-minute break. Thank you. We'll move on to the next item on the agenda, which is announcements. Are there any announcements from the dais? Seeing none, we'll move on to the consent agenda. Alderman Brennan, did you have a action?
Yes, yes, Mayor, I'd like to pull 6.8 back to committee.
I'm sorry, which one?
6.8 will go back to committee. Let me have, we'll go through it first, and then Clerk Tamer, will you read the remainder of the consent agenda?
Go ahead and read it, you said, with 6.8 or without?
No, 6.8 is pulled back.
Okay, all right. 6.1, minutes of the regular meeting of the Elmhurst City Council on November 3rd, 2025. 6.2, committee of the whole minutes of the regular meeting of the Elmhurst City Council on November 3rd, 2025. 6.3, committee of the whole minutes of the regular meeting of the Elmhurst City Council on November 10th, 2025. 6.4, accounts payable November 17th, 2025. $4,305,160.37. 6.5, referral, considering average annual cost of ownership for fleet vehicle replacement decisions. 6.6, report insurance renewal, January 1st, 2026 to December 31st, 2026. 6.7, report Spring Road Business Association Winterfest request. 6.8, report neighborhood traffic study, area number 6. 6.9, report purchase of one 2026 Pierce Saber pumper rescue truck, see item 8.1. 6.10, an ordinance approving and authorizing the execution of a non-exclusive license agreement by and between the Spring Road Business Association and the City of Elmhurst, DuPage, and Cook Counties, Illinois. 6.11, a budget and appropriation ordinance for the City of Elmhurst for the fiscal year beginning on January 1st, 2026, and ending on December 31st, 2026. 6.12, a resolution authorizing the issuance of a notice of award and authorizing the execution of a contract for the First Street and Park Avenue Bridge painting project for the City of Elmhurst, Illinois. 6.13, a resolution approving and authorizing the execution of the First Amendment to the Local Public Agency Agreement for federal participation by and between the City of Elmhurst and the Illinois Department of Transportation in connection with the pedestrian and bicycle bridge over Illinois Route 83. And 6.14, a resolution to approve the payment of the DuPage County fee in lieu in connection with the Route 83 pedestrian bridge project.
All right, is there any item on the consent agenda that any alderman would like to remove, either for further discussion or to vote against? Alderman Toledo?
6.11.
All right. Anything else? We have a motion to approve the consent agenda minus items 6.8 and 6.11. Alderman Nardini, motion. Alderman Toledo with a second. Clerk Tamer, please call the roll.
Irby?
Yes.
Brennan?
Aye.
Barimas? Aye. Bellinger?
Aye.
Janko? Aye. Hill?
Aye.
Graham?
Aye.
Jensen?
Aye.
Toledo?
Aye.
Baker?
Aye.
Nudera?
Aye.
Virgil?
Aye.
Nardini?
Yes.
Bastido? Aye. 14 ayes, 0 nays.
14 ayes, 0 nays. The consent agenda minus items 6.8 and 6.11 passes. I love the unanimity. Reports and recommendations of elected officials.
Wait,
6:11.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's a little important, isn't it? I beg your pardon. All right. Clerk Tamer, please read 6:11 to bring it before the council.
A budget and appropriation ordinance for the City of Elmhurst for the fiscal year beginning on January 1st, 2026 and ending on December 31st, 2026.
All right, may I have a motion to put the budget approval before council? Motion by Alderman Toledo, second by Alderman Nudera. Well, this is a little different this year. Alderman Brennan.
All right.
Jump right in. All right.
So in this report, as we discussed earlier, there were a number of reductions to a number of accounts. 3 of those counts were related to our seniors here in the city. Report 6.6 that we just approved, fortunately had some benefits that freed up some budget. So I'd like to make a motion to restore senior services to the original levels. I talked about 6.6, the liability insurance, approved by the Finance Committee and considered and approved by the City Council tonight. Realized savings from what was planned in the 2026 budget. So restoring those service programs is feasible with the overage there, or the underage. Therefore, I'd like to make the motion to the 2026 budget as follows. Increase account 110-1019-530305, Senior Assistance Program, from $42,000 to $67,000. And I'll give this to you, Mayor, here. Increase 110-19-530310, Seniors Tax Subsidy, from $55,000 to $85,000. Increase 110-1019-530315, Senior Citizen Council Grant, from $25,000 to $50,000. And reduce 110-1010-536-105 property liability insurance from $332,000 to $217,000.
Right. We have a motion. Is there a second? Alderman Irby with the second. Discussion on the motion. The motion is to reduce 3 line items related to senior, increase 3 line items related to senior services, and to reduce the property liability insurance. Discussion. Alderman Irby.
Thank you, Mayor. Just for clarity with staff and Alderman Brennan, the totals of those 3 accounts, do those come approximately $80,000 for just clarity, so I know what those numbers add up to?
Pretty much, yes.
That would be yes. Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
I'll be voting for it.
All right.
Thank you. I'll turn the floor back.
Other discussion? All right, Clerk Tamer, call the roll, please. I'm sorry, we're voting on the amendment to increase the 3 senior lines and decrease the property liability insurance. We're voting on the amendment.
Irby?
Yes.
Brennan?
Aye.
Barimas?
Aye.
Bellinger?
Aye.
Schenko?
Aye.
Hill?
Aye.
Graham?
Aye.
Jensen?
Aye.
Toledo?
Aye.
Baker?
Aye.
Udera?
Aye.
Virgil?
Aye.
Nardini?
Yes.
Bastido?
Aye.
14 ayes, 0 nays.
14 ayes, 0 nays. The amendment is adopted. Thank you. All right, we're on to the main budget. For discussion on the budget, we've got a motion to pass, and we have a second, so it's open for discussion. All right, seeing none, I'll call for a vote.
Irby?
Yes.
Brennan?
Aye.
Barimas?
Aye.
Bellinger?
Aye.
Schenko?
Aye.
Hill?
Aye.
Graham?
Aye.
Jensen?
Aye.
Toledo?
Aye.
Baker?
Aye.
Nudera?
Aye.
Virgil?
Aye.
Nardini?
Yes.
Bastido?
Aye.
14 ayes, 0 nays.
14 ayes, 0 nays, 6.11 passes. Thank you all. On to report, and thank you all for your hard work on that one. Reports and recommendations, I have none. I do want to note under item B that the referral list was on board docs for the status of all referrals, so if you didn't see it, I call it to your attention. Alderman Brand?
Yes, with that, my cursory review of this, there seems to be items missing on the pending items list. So I don't know if this is the latest and greatest version or not, but just to make sure I know we're not taking any action, but just to make sure we have the latest and greatest list, please.
If you would let city manager or me know which one it is, then we can add it on to make sure it doesn't fall out of the queue. Thank you.
Thank you.
City manager?
Thank you, Mayor. In answer to Alderman Bram's question, the code provides that it's a certain number of days where the referrals are to be reported. So we'll double check it, but just so you know, it doesn't hit all of them. There's a certain window in the code that we are to report like this. So we do have that complete list. If you look at board docs, you can go through the complete list, but this covers what the code provision says we are to do quarterly.
Okay, I'll follow up on that. Thank you.
Thank you, and so will we, just to make sure. A couple other items in front of you tonight. You have actually what looks like this now. This is now your access to City Hall. So if you have the key fobs, the black dials, you can turn them back into me or to any of the staff members, and we'll dispose of those. But this is, just hold this up in the same way that you did the black fob, and that will get you in. You do not have to carry this entire piece if you don't want to. As an example, I just put this in my wallet, and I use that on a daily basis. Thank you. We are going to be changing the doors to the administrative offices as well, and so you'll use those to get in addition to in those areas. Secondly, it was mentioned briefly in the Committee of the Whole meeting that we have our new communications manager starting on Wednesday. Michael Quiroz starts with us. He brings over 10 years of private sector experience, but supporting local government agencies through the company that he works for. So it's a unique blend of public and private. So we are really looking forward to Michael starting on Wednesday, and he's a resident as well. So it's always good to hire somebody locally when possible. Next, the citizen survey has been out for a while. We're using a company by the name of Polco, P-O-L-C-O, to do that. And what they have done so far is to send the survey out on a random basis for people to fill out. They've documented all of those replies, and now they've opened it up to the community. So anybody who wants to take the survey now, they will keep as a separate data set, just so everybody knows they're not going to blend them together, but they're interested in allowing anybody who would like to do that. I think Alderman Nardini has a question.
Alderman Nardini.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'm confused. Homes First, what survey?
This is this is the citizen survey that we do every 2 years. And that's just general city conditions, city operations.
And where can I find it?
That is on the city website. So if you go to the home screen, there's a link to it. It's also at polco.us/Elmhurst 2025 OP.
Thanks.
It's probably easier just to link it from the website. So we encourage many people to do that. It is live now, and we will be getting the word out starting tomorrow on that. Two other items. City Hall will be closed the 27th and 28th, which is Thanksgiving and the Friday after Thanksgiving. So happy Thanksgiving to everybody here and in the community. And then the second leaf pickup and final leaf pickup of the year is December 3rd, 4th, and 5th. So it's the first week in December on the day that your refuse and recycling is picked up. I think the snow last week did a good job, at least in my backyard, of taking the leaves down. So hopefully we're catching up with that. It's always kind of throwing a dart at a bullseye to try to figure out when that's going to happen. That's all that I have. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, City Manager. Any other reports? Alderman Baker.
Mr. Mayor, thank you. This is an update on the O'Hare Commission, Noise Commission, regarding September reports. There was total aircraft operations in September in this area of 74,666 flights. That compares to last year, 69,000, around an 6,000 activity difference, an increase of 8% this year. It is the most for September since 2019. Most of the runways based on wind, takeoffs and landings were from east and west. They accounted for 74% of all the traffic. We had 26% of the daily takeoffs, which was a bit higher than previous months, but there's more traffic involved as well. Complaints from Elmhurst, 16 households in Elmhurst tallied 468 complaints. Comparatively, Bensonville had 3 households. They're in the same direction as the runway that comes here, and 9 complaints total from those 3 households. Berkeley had 1 household with 4 complaints. Lombard, 1 household, 5 complaints. Addison had 1 household with 1 complaint. So those are some of the areas around us. So apparently the runway and the traffic overhead is definitely something that people are listening to and watching for. So you can report that online if you'd like, and they will try and respond to that. Two things upcoming. They will be presenting a renewal to the council to continue with the Noise Commission in the next few years, so that will come up for a vote next month. We need to have that done by the end of December, and the city manager and mayor are still working out to have someone from the ONCC come and speak to us. That will probably be after the first of the year, and that's all I've got there.
Thank you, Alderman Baker. Alderman Bram.
Are we working on having someone just from ONCC or someone from the FDA and/or someone from CDA?
FAA.
Or is it just, what did I say?
FDA.
Oh, FAA, yes, correct. Airplanes, not food and
We're
drug.
doing food safety.
Yes, so are we having multiple representation or just from the ONCC? Are we pursuing FAA representation as well?
If I may.
Please, city manager.
We were working with the ONCC executive director. They work hand in glove with the CDA, the Chicago Department of Aviation, and so I'm going to take her lead on who she would bring to council. Typically, in the past, she has brought the engineering company that works on all the reports that Alderman Baker just summarized to the council. So I'll ask her. I'm not sure what we would expect out of an FAA representative. I think the ONCC and the CDA have the most to say about the questions that you have.
In the past, I believe we've had FAA, saying it slow so I get it right, FAA representation at the presentation. They spoke in these chambers in regards to the runway that impacts Elmhurst, so I'd just like to make a formal request to see if we can pursue that avenue as well.
All right. All right, any other reports? All right, we'll move on to item 8, ordinances. Clerk Tamer, please read the ordinance.
An ordinance authorizing the purchase of one 2026 Pierce Enforcer Pumper Rescue Fire Truck and authorizing the disposal of one 2009 Pierce Pumper Rescue Truck. See item 6.9.
All right, is there a motion to pass ordinance 8.1? Alderman Brennan with the motion, Alderman Schenkel with the second. Alderman Brennan.
Thank you, Mayor. As we approved the consent agenda tonight, report 6.9 was the purchase of a new fire rescue truck. We also approved suspension of the rules. I wanted to explain the reason that was necessary. So we're currently replacing a 2009 truck that has roughly 108,000 miles on it. Life-to-date repair of roughly $300,000. The good news is if we can get this approved tonight and expedite it, we can get a formal letter back to the dealer that we want this truck. If we do so, it'll be here in 12 to 14 months. If not, it'll be 3 years. And so we were lucky enough to get one that's already in the queue. So appreciate your support on suspending the rules.
Other discussion? Alderman Irby.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you for the update, Chair Brennan. I want to thank the Public Works Department for the ability to keep the repairs low on that pumper. It is 1/2 the price of the previous fire truck that we've retired. So they've been doing a great job. I want to put a public shout out to them. Is the reason we're going, Chair Brennan, is because we're going for the 25,000, or is it because of the timeline to get the ball rolling, or is it both?
Chair Brennan?
Are you discussing what's in the report?
Yeah, correct. There's a $25,000 cash value that we're getting from someone who's buying the truck, so I wanted to make sure I knew why we were expediting the report and suspending the rules.
Well, it's an option for somebody to buy the truck at 25.
Just to clarify, I think your question is why we're suspending the rules. And I think what Chair Brennan was saying is there's one that's in the queue that someone else probably didn't take, and we can step in and take the place of that other purchaser and get it in 12 to 14 months. If we don't do that now and get the letter of intent to the dealer and don't get that truck, it might take us 3 years to get one along the lines of regular production. The sale of the existing truck is incidental.
Okay. Thank you. You answered my question.
All right. All right, I think we're ready to call the roll.
Irby?
Aye.
Brennan?
Aye.
Barimas? Aye. Bellinger?
Aye.
Schenko?
Aye.
Hill?
Aye.
Bram?
Aye.
Jensen?
Aye.
Toludo? Aye. Baker?
Aye.
Sarah?
Aye.
Virgil?
Aye.
Nardini?
Aye.
Bastido? Aye. 14 ayes, 0 nays.
14 ayes, 0 nays. 8.1 passes. Is there any other business to be brought before the council this evening? Seeing none, I'll ask for a motion to adjourn. Motion by Alderman Ernby, second by Alderman Bram. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed say nay. We are adjourned. Thank you.